Hi everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to make this lovely granny square. It's a seamless granny square, which means you can't see where we join the yarn. So as you see on this one, my joining corner is just here. So I'm not sure you can make out whether the join is composed of those corners, but generally it's a seamless one and we'll keep it nice and square. What you will need for this tutorial is some scissors. If you're new to crocheting, I would recommend some stitch markers, and I'll show you how to use those as we work through. Your yarn, I'm using a Stylecraft Special DK. This one's I believe an apricot colour, and a corresponding hook for the yarn. My yarn recommends a 4mm hook, so I'm using a 4mm hook. So let's get started. So to start off with, you need to create your slip knot. Do this in any way that works best for you. I'm going to insert my hook. Just tighten up my slip knot so there's a bit of play on there. Let's move my yarn over here out of the way. Okay, so I want you to chain 4. So it's yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So that's 4 chains. And I want you to slip stitch into the first chain. Okay, so a slip stitch, you insert your hook into the very first chain, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through that second loop on your hook. Okay, and this basically bends the loop of chain back round on itself and forms a little hole here. So this bit up the top is where your stitch is opened up, where you've worked into, and this is the center of your chain 4, and this is where you need to work. So to start off with, chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and this is going to count as a treble. And your next stitch, you're going to do 2 trebles into this center space. So yarn over, insert it into that center space, yarn over, pull through. That gives you 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, another 2 loops on your hook. You can see now the hole's easier to see. So let's do another one. So yarn over, insert your hook into that center hole, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through another 2. So we now got 3 stitches, our chain 3 and 2 trebles. We now want to make our very first corner. So in every corner you need to do a chain 2. So 1, 2, I only ever do 2s because I feel otherwise they're too baggy, the corners. And we want to do another 3 trebles. So when you look at your work here, every stitch is a set of 3 trebles together. Okay, and every corner has a set of 3 trebles, a chain 2 and 3 trebles. So we're at our very first corner. So we've done our chain 2, yarn over, and you want to do another 3 trebles. So back into that center hole, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1. Yarn over, insert back into the center hole, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's 2. And our last one in there, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we've got 2 sets, and we've got this bit here, which is our first corner. So just if you're new at crocheting and you're struggling to see the pattern as it evolved, the best thing is to get a stitch marker and pop it in that chain 2 space. You need 4 corners, that's your first one. Makes it a lot easier to identify them if you're just learning. Okay, so we've done 3. We're now starting another corner, so we need to chain 2 to give that corner bit, so like here down. and then yarn over, back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the first one of the next set of 3 trebles. And then we go again. And the third one. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to get my stitch marker and I'm going to pop it into that chain 2 space. There we go. So now we have the start of 2 corners and 2 sides and a bottom. Okay, so working round again, we need to create our next corner. So chain 2, and we're back into that centre hole. Now with this end, you can pull it in, which will tighten up that hole eventually. We don't want to pull it in at the moment, or you can just work it in as you go. So you're either going to weave that in at the end, or you can actually crochet it into your work. It's up to you. So let's do another 3 trebles into that centre hole. So that's yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So I've got 2 now. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I've got a cluster of 3 again. So I'm just going to mark that next corner and just show you. So at the moment, we have now got 3, set of 3, a corner, set of 3, corner, set of 3, a corner, and another set of 3. So we just need to make one more corner, and to make a corner, we chain 2. 1, 2. Now you need to join your square together. So what we need to do is to slip stitch into our second chain. So if you remember, the first one we did was a chain 2. So you've got your first chain here and your second chain just at the top there. So slip stitch, remember, you insert your hook, there you go, yarn over, pull through, and then you want to pull through the loop that's already on your hook. There you go. So that's your slip stitch, and that's now made your 4th corner. So I'm just going to pull that up a second and I can show you. So your work should look like this now. You should have 4 stitch markers in 4 spaces and 3 sets of trebles all the way around, and that's your first round. So at the moment, we go back to our piece of work, we're at this very centre bit here. Okay. Now to make it seamless, we need to turn our work. So if you insert your hook back in, this is where we left off. So I want you to flip your work, so flip it towards you, taking the yarn back around behind, because your yarn's always behind your hook because you yarn over. And now our yarn's at this edge here. We want it back in this corner. So to get it back in this corner, you just need to do a quick slip stitch in there. And now our yarn's back in that first corner. Chain 2. That's the first one, that counts as our first treble. And now we need to do another 2 trebles into that corner. 1. Just yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have half of a corner. So at this point, the easiest way to remember what to do next is to put your stitch marker on the other side. So each corner, there we go. So each corner has a set, let me show you back on our sample piece, has 2 sets of trebles. Each corner has 2 sets of trebles in it, separated by a chain 2. So to make it seamless, we only do half a corner to start with. So I'm going to put my stitch marker there to remind me when I get back round there, I've only got 3 trebles, so I've only got half a corner. And I'm going to take my other stitch marker and I'm going to mark where I'm going to join those corners together. So this is my chain 2, so that's 1 and that's my second chain. I'm just going to pop that stitch marker in there, and that denotes where I'm going to join it. Make more sense when we get round there. So we're now going to move over to our green corner. I'm going to take my stitch marker out. And that's it's told me where I'm going next for my next stitch. And you're going to jump straight into this corner and do 3 trebles, a chain 2 and 3 trebles. That will make your next corner. So yarn over, insert into the corner, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, so yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and once more. So I've now got 3 trebles together. I now need to make my corner, so I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going back into that same hole, and I'm going to do another 3 trebles. So I might go a little bit faster now. Now you've got the gist of how to do a treble. So that's my second one. And that's my third one. Just get some more yarn. Okay, so if you want at this point, you can put your stitch marker back in that corner. As it gets bigger, it becomes more obvious and you won't need to keep taking them in and out. So you've done that one. You're now going to move on to the red corner. I take my stitch marker out and I'm going to jump straight into that one. So 3 trebles. That's the second one. That's the third one. Now I need to make my corner. So I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to put 3 trebles back into that corner. 1, 2 and 3. Oops, there we go. And if you like, you can put your stitch marker back in the new corner you've just created. There we go. So this is my corner because I've got 2 together that I started, which has only got my half corner in. This corner has now got 3 trebles, chain 2. This corner's got 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles. We're now going to jump to the yellow corner, last but one. So you're doing 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, I've got to do another 2. So that's the second one. This is my third one. Then I'm chaining 2. And I'm back into that same corner space and I'm going to do another 3 trebles. So remember, whenever you're working a granny square, everything's in 3s and every corner has 3 trebles, a chain 2 and 3 trebles. Okay. Right, so we are back to our starting corner. Now, if you remember rightly, we only had 3 trebles. So we've only got 3 in this corner. And this is why I've got 2 stitch markers in here. So this is my last corner of this round. So I need to finish off this corner so it looks like the others. So I'm going to put my last 3 trebles in here. Two, 3. And remember, to make that corner, I need a chain 2. So 1, 2. And now I need to join this corner together. So I've marked out where I'm going to join with my stitch marker on the previous round. So I'm just going to pop a slip stitch into that top of the chain 2. And then you can put your stitch marker back in there if you like. And that's your round completed, as you can see. So for the next round, remember, you've always got to flip your work, and this will make it a seamless piece of work as you're going along. And if you want to at this stage, you can pull in that center one, pull in that circle square. Okay, so we need to flip our work, so you're flipping it towards you and you're going to take that yarn behind. Okay, and we want to get our yarn, because at the moment it's at the top of this treble here, our last treble. We need to get it into this chain 2 space here. So you're going to do a quick slip stitch into that one, and then you're going to chain 2 to start the next round. So you're building up the height for the stitch. I'm going to take my stitch marker out at this point, and now I'm going to work 2 trebles, 1, 2, and I'm going to put my stitch marker back here to remind me that I haven't finished that corner. And I'm also going to get my stitch marker and I'm going to put it in the top of my chain 2. So that's 1, 2, so it's going to go in here. So those 2 together are telling me what I'm doing next. So as you notice now, as we're getting bigger, so we're now at this pink stage here, we've now got a gap in between. So we've got in each corner 3 trebles, a chain 2, 3 trebles, but we've now got a gap in the middle here, and we need to fill that gap. So in each gap as you go round, we're going to do 3 trebles. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and back in again to do your first side set of trebles. Okay, we're now back in our corner. Now, as you notice, I've got a stitch marker in this one, but it's quite evident now when you lie it down flat where my corners lie. But just if you want to carry on putting them in there, that's absolutely fine. And you're going to work round, all the way around here. When you get to your corner, you're doing 3 trebles, a chain 2 and 3 trebles. When you get to your side hole, you're doing 3 trebles in there. And I want you to work all the way around until you get back to your half corner. Okay, so you should have worked all the way around and you should have put in every gap 3 trebles, and in every corner 3 trebles, a chain 2 and 3 trebles, all the way around until you get back to your starting point where you've only got half a corner created. Okay, it's probably quite important to keep doing these 2 stitch markers every round. You might not necessarily need to put this one into the top of your chain 2, but it is useful. But it just reminds you, it's very, very easy at this stage, just sort of keep going. And then you sort of lose your thread to where your corner actually sits. So just do the last corner with you before we go on to the next round. So I'm going to take my stitch marker out, and I'm working 3 trebles to finish off this corner. So that's 1, so 2, and 3. And then we need to create the actual corner itself, so we're chaining 2. I'm going to take out my little stitch marker that's told me where I'm going to plant my last stitch, and I'm just going to slip stitch into that corner, and that finishes off that round. Okay, so remember at this stage we need to flip our work, take the yarn behind, and we need to get our yarn back into this corner space. So you slip stitch into that corner, and then we start building up our next round. So chain 2 and do 2 trebles. That starts our first corner or first half corner. So I'm going to put my markers, there we go, back in. That's my half corner, and 1, 2, I'm going to put that one in there just to show me where I'm going to slip stitch when I get back round there. So what you'll notice now when you get to this stage, that you've got your corners, but you've also got 2 gaps, and as your square progresses, at the moment you've got 2 gaps here, and then this one you've got 3 gaps on your corners, and this one you've got 4 gaps. So as you work round, it gets bigger, obviously, and you will increase the number of treble clusters that you put in the sides. So on this round, we're going to put one set of trebles in there, so that's 3 trebles. That's my second, my first, third rather, and then into the next one, jump straight in there. I don't do any chains between them. The only time you do a chain is in the corners. You might feel that you're pulling it, but once you take the tension off that yarn, it all falls flat. Back into my corner, and we're going to work 3 trebles. My third one, a chain 2, and back into that same space, 3 more trebles. The second one and my third one. Okay, so that is my seamless granny square. Now you have 2 gaps at the side, and you need to put 3 trebles in each of those as you go round, and on the next round you'll have 3 gaps between your corners. So if you want to carry on marking out your corners so you know when you're getting to those corner points, but at this stage, because it looks pretty square, you probably don't need to. So continue all the way around now. Don't forget, when you get back to your half one, that you're finishing that one off. It's very important that you put your last 3 trebles in there, and that you slip stitch, chain 2 and slip stitch into the top of the first chain. You flip your work and you're going to slip stitch back into that corner space. So don't forget to do that. So if you get stuck, rewind the video to the corners and watch me do the video again, showing you how to do a corner. But that's generally it. And when you're completed, you can go as big as you like. And you can change colours at any stage. So on this one in particular, I change colours on every round just so you could see how the pattern develops. Or you could have the same colour, or you could maybe do a block of colour and then another block of colour, and go as big as you want it.